Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I want to remind everybody about Clinton Donnelly. He is the crypto tax fixer, and he has crypto tax audit. He's got memberships that help you with audit protection, early warning, and audit defense. I'll put a link to him in the top of the description if you're worried about being audited, your crypto or otherwise. Clinton Donnelly can help. Michael at VAL, 5 links, XRP network, whales holding between 1 million and 10 million XRP have collectively been accumulating and now hold their highest percentage of the asset supply in 2 months. This is the most active tier of non-exchange holders and currently hold 6.12% of all XRP. XRP whales on an accumulation spree. Ripple keen to explore IPO after SEC battle. So a lot going on. Link to, they did this yesterday, but now they're expanding it in honor of Members Week. Today's theme is diversification. Link to is reducing the minimum investment threshold to $5,000 for all digital asset companies available on Link to from 8 a.m. to 11:59 Pacific time. So that's today, folks. You can get Ripple, Uphold, Dapper Labs, BitPay, BlockFi right now. Okay, Linda P. Jones had an interesting tweet here. Did you catch this? On the Forbes article, it says the new crypto bill proposed is expected to define whether different cryptocurrencies are either securities or commodities. Maybe this will dismiss the SEC lawsuit. Well, this is the bill by Cynthia Loomis, and my jury is still, I'm saying I'm not holding my breath because the only stuff I've ever seen Cynthia Loomis weigh in on is that she thinks Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities. I've never seen her she's never given me any indication. Now, I could be wrong. I hope she proves me wrong. But in this clip right here, she's talking about how she's talking to Gary Gensler in helping to craft the bill, is the way I hear it.
Put it out on a very quiet basis. Got some great feedback. Integrated that feedback into the next draft. The next draft is out. Then we've been working together between our offices to make sure that we're covering all the CFTC and SEC issues that would tend to fall under our committee jurisdiction, as well as get industry input, meet with Gary Gensler, meet with the CFTC, and try to have something that we can actually break up.
It's created by.
Now, my question is, Ripple tried to meet with the SEC for 8 years and got the runaround. And now she's crafting legislation that supposedly is going to be for the crypto industry. And she's meeting with Gary Gensler. Well, how could that possibly be good for Ripple? I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Like I said, I hope she proves me wrong. But I have never heard her come out and say anything pro Cardano, Ripple, XRP. I've heard plenty of stuff from her about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but nothing about any other digital asset that isn't under that veil. And until I do, I'm skeptical. I've learned to be skeptical in this industry of these maxi Bitcoin Ethereum people, folks. I have learned. The court has granted the SEC's motion for extension of time to file an opposition to Amici's status request participate in the expert challenge. I can't remember a time when the judge did not grant the SEC's motion for an extension. Maybe it's happened, but I don't remember it. Now, this is interesting. Yesterday, Eleanor Terrett tweeted this. She said, "Scoop, Patrick Doody, independent expert of the SEC retained to analyze the perspective of a reasonable purchaser of XRP, is currently employed by a private consulting firm that won a $4.1 million government contract in 2018. The contract was funded by the SEC. And so, in other words, Patrick Doody is put up as an expert witness, an independent expert witness to tell the court that XRP holders bought XRP knowing that it was that Ripple, it was from Ripple and it was a security and all But that expert is working for a company that is funded by the SEC. Where is Congress? Why is this agency still in existence is my question. This is crazy. Now, Hester Pierce was at the DC, I can't remember what they call it, DC Blockchain Summit or whatever. She was there. And she said this, and so I agreed with her 100%. So I added on some other things since she's losing sleep over fraud. I wanted to once again bring to her attention and to Gary Gensler's attention that all of the fraudulent ICOs that were issued pretty much came off of Ethereum. The SEC never went after the root of the problem, which was Ethereum, and we still don't know who the disguised whales are, but this is what's keeping her up at night.
Keeps you up at night when you think about...
And remember, Ripple is not being accused of fraud. Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson are not accused of fraud in the lawsuit.
Keeps you up at night when you think about cryptocurrency and the way that it's going in the U.S.?
Well, I mean, one thing does concern me is what concerns others, that there's a lot of fraud in this space because it's an area that... It's the hot area of the moment. So the fraud concerns me.
ICOs are fraud, speculative, and speculation drives innovation. So they're very important in creating foundational infrastructure.
A person can buy...
All right, you've seen that part 1,000 times, but he's going to go on to help describe how he can help you disguise your whale purchases, your millions of US dollars worth of Ethereum that you're going to buy in the ICO. He's going to help you disguise it. I don't want this to keep Hester up at night anymore. So where's Gary? Where is, and again, I'm being sarcastic here. The truth is, I don't want anybody to go after Ethereum. I just want a level playing field. But I will continue to illustrate the lies and absurdity until there is a level playing field. And this is not a level playing field. You got the guy that tried to work with regulators. He's being sued by the SEC and Gary Gensler. And you got the guy who helped disguise whale purchasers and went and formed his company in Switzerland and then sold into the United States, which puts him under SEC jurisdiction, and he gets off scot-free. There's nothing wrong with him. He's fine. And he's the one that was meeting behind closed doors with the SEC back in 2018, which led to the Ethereum free pass. He's on the list, folks. Now, look at Glenn Hutchins. Remember Glenn Hutchins? Glenn Hutchins is the guy that founded Silver Lake Partners. You'll remember that. I'll show you how that's relevant in a second. He's also one of the advisors or board members of the Digital Currency Group, which is an investor in Ripple. He's also the guy that said that the value is in the protocol. He's also a guy that was at the New York Fed. This guy's a key player. He was on CNBC this morning.
As an investor, Glenn, and tell me, when you're thinking about all these things, what makes sense in the market? Do you buy some of those stocks that have gotten hit so hard, especially after what we heard from Snap yesterday, just really kind of taking, without any discretion, all of those technology names, all of those social networks down?
It's a good question. So first is obviously if the way I think the buying opportunity in the near term might be distressed seller.
All right, I just wanted to show you that he's on CNBC in Davos before I show you this clip. So this is Brad Garlinghouse, and this is XRP Dare. And give @Fame21 more a follow, and also go to his YouTube channel. It's Darren Moore Jr. That's Moore. So he found this clip, and then he even cleaned up the audio on it. This is Brad Garlinghouse. Now that's Michael J. Casey, who was he's a CoinDesk guy and an MIT guy. On this channel, we have given him some trouble over. We're the XRP army, I guess he's referring to. Actually, I think it's in this clip how we've gone after him some or whatever. It's either this clip or the other one I'm going to show you. And I'm going to split these up, by the way. I'm going to do the second clip because there's so much good stuff here. I'm going to do the second clip in my next video because I don't want to make this too long. But first I want to show you where this is. It's a fireside chat with Ripple CEO. This went on the 23rd. I want you to look here that Brad Garlinghouse was a senior advisor at Silver Lake Partners. That's Glenn Hutchins, the company that Glenn Hutchins started. Okay. Now, let's go back to the clip. Listen to this.
For coming, appreciate great equipment.
And the sound quality is average at best. You're just going to have to deal with that.
Couple questions about CBDCs and where you feel like their role plays in like an evolution of decentralized assets. Which governments do you think that you've been talking to one are interested in CBDCs? And are they only interested in controlling them as like self-contained units that cannot transport their value to other networks?
So the timing on that question is really good. The last session I went to in the Congress Center for Economic was a session on CBDCs. I'm going to forget everyone's names, but one of the central bankers from Thailand, the woman who runs the IMF, just going across, then a gentleman who's on the board of Credit Suisse, and then the finance minister from France. And one thing is interesting, I was sitting next to a guy who's very deep in crypto named Glenn Hutchins, and he says, you know what's interesting?
He's sitting next to Glenn Hutchins.
They don't have anyone up there who knows anything about crypto. No, I'm not sure that's 100% true. They had a really interesting, good conversation. I'm sure you've seen some of the data. Probably 90% of central banks are researching digital assets, CBDCs in one way or another. Ripple has done partnerships with a couple of countries, and certainly ones, it's an area we are developing. I'm still personally a little bit quizzical, maybe to humanize me. Some of the use cases for CBDCs are a little bit quizzical to me, and I don't know that I've ever talked about this publicly, but the case for a US dollar CBDC is really unclear to me, right? If you think about today, the Fed has a journal entry and they move $1 billion over to JPM. I mean, that was just a journal entry. They didn't move pallets of money. So, what's the difference between that and then, of course, JPM distributes it they distribute a digitized dollar, right? It's not tokenized necessarily, but what's the difference between a digitized dollar and a tokenized dollar? Do we need a CBDC in a country like the United States? I don't know. They did talk about the retail case versus the wholesale case. The retail case being direct to consumer, and they did talk about how they could disintermediate commercial banks. Look, some countries, I'll say something controversial. Should it surprise any of us that China is the first country to lean into a CBDC? Right. And a surveillance state that wants to see what its citizens are up to? 128 million people in China who are part of their test. 120 million people, that's not much of a test. Like, Jesus. Maybe that's a good thing, but it's also, I think, indicative of maybe some of the agendas that some people have in the CBDC that I think is, yet to be determined.
But, again, not to push back, but isn't the U.S. pretty much a surveillance state as well? Isn't everything that's
I don't argue that at all. I was on a panel at WEP earlier today, and we talked about one of the panels said something about permissionless, that you needed to be able to have permissionless systems. Look, I like the tribalism point. One of the biggest mistakes I think the crypto community makes in the United States and other G20 markets is pretending regulators don't matter. This idea that we're going to have a permissionless system in the United States, I wouldn't use the same words, but I largely agree with you. We can't pretend KYC doesn't matter. We may not like it. We may not like the fact that, all kinds of different government regulations, but they exist. And if we want these technologies to permeate this system and have as many people benefit from them as possible, we have to acknowledge those regulations and figure out how to work with them. Now, what's frustrating, of course, is when the regulations aren't clear. I think most actors in the crypto world are very good actors and want to do right, but you have to be clear about where the lines in the road are.
Okay. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to show you, and then I'm going to show you the larger clip in the next video. But Darren Moore points to the 8-minute mark. So let's listen to that. He says that Brad Garlinghouse slips up and says something that he may not have meant to.
East Asia. The other thing that happened, it kind of came out of Davos years ago. We were lucky and smart, I think, to develop a relationship with some central bankers. The UAE developed some monetary authority. When you have central bankers advocating that their commercial banks should, hey, you should look at this, they live, the ability to advance this kind of crypto is a bad word. So that type of dynamic has certainly helped. We leaned in early to
let's engage regulators. I think that was controversial, like some in the crypto, but in some ways maybe it backfired because that's just they sued us. But in general, I think it's going to serve us well.
Yeah, the audio is pretty rough, but I could kind of hear him say it. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that Brad, the CEO of Ripple, slipped up. UAE, Central Bank of United Arab